Thomas, a 72-year-old grandfather from Ohio, had always been the warm, playful type. His granddaughter used to run into his arms every time she visited, hugging him tightly like he was the safest place on earth. But one day, something changed. She walked into the room, paused, and instead of rushing toward him, she hung back. He noticed the shift instantly. No hug, no snuggle, just a polite wave. At first, he thought she was just in a mood, maybe tired from school. But this distance became more regular, more deliberate. It hurt, but Thomas kept it to himself. Then, during a quiet afternoon, his granddaughter casually let something slip. "Grandpa smells like a nursing home." She said it without malice, like a child does when stating what they notice out loud. But the words landed like a punch to the chest. Thomas was stunned. He showered daily. He wore clean clothes, used aftershave, even mouthwash. But no matter what he did, something lingered. And now, he couldn't ignore it. That moment changed how he saw himself. He started avoiding hugs first. He pulled back, felt embarrassed in public, and even questioned whether he should be around others as much. All because of a smell he didn't realize he carried. Let's pause right here. Have you ever wondered why older people often carry a particular scent even when they are perfectly clean? It is not about poor hygiene. And no, it is not something that can be masked with cologne, body wash, or deodorant. This is something else, something deeper. You see, the body changes in more ways than we can see as we age. And one of the changes that few people ever talk about, because it is considered awkward or even shameful, is the development of a distinct natural body odor that's common in older adults. This video is not here to judge. It is here to uncover a truth that most seniors already suspect, but rarely say out loud. We are going to talk honestly about what causes this natural scent to appear, even when your hygiene habits are excellent. We will break it down biologically why it happens, what role aging skin and hormonal changes play, and how certain habits unintentionally make it worse. But here's the part that matters most. This isn't a one-way street. You are not stuck with this. We are going to walk through 3 simple, science-backed ways to reduce and even reverse the natural body odor linked to aging. Because at the end of the day, this is not about vanity. It is about confidence. It is about holding your grandchild without worrying they'll pull away. It is about sitting at a dinner table and feeling proud, not self-conscious. And it is about taking control of something that no one talks about, but everyone notices. So stick with me to the end of this video. Whether you are 60, 70, 80, or beyond, this is information you deserve to know. And if you've experienced something similar to Thomas, scroll down and share your story in the comments. You never know who it might help feel a little less alone. Let us take a step back for a moment and ask a simple question. What happens to the body after age 70? You might think of slower movement, less energy, or more frequent naps. But one of the most consistent changes, yet often ignored, is in how the body sleeps, heals, and regulates itself. Older adults tend to sleep lighter, wake more often, and experience shorter deep sleep phases. This disruption in rest affects everything from memory to skin regeneration. Now here is the connection most people miss. Poor quality sleep reduces the skin's ability to repair itself. Over time, this contributes to dryness, thinning, and a slower turnover of skin cells when the skin does not restore itself properly. Another subtle change starts to take shape, a new kind of body odor that is hard to describe but easy to notice. Let us get one thing straight right from the beginning. This is not about sweat. It is not about forgetting to shower or using the wrong soap. What many people notice as a senior smell has nothing to do with cleanliness. It comes from something deeper biology. The scientific name behind this quiet scent is 2-nonenal, a compound you likely have never heard of, but your nose might already recognize. Here is how it works. As we age, our skin changes. Starting around age 40 and increasing significantly after 60, the body's production of natural oils, specifically from the sebaceous glands, begins to decline. These oils play a key role in keeping our skin moisturized and acting as a barrier. But with age, the skin becomes drier, thinner, and less protected. Now, pair that with another aging factor, oxidation. Oxidation is a natural process where fats and oils break down when exposed to air, much like how an apple browns once sliced. On our skin, something very similar happens. The fatty acids in our skin's oils begin to oxidize over time, especially when the skin is dry and aging. This breakdown process produces a chemical called nonenal, or more specifically, 2-nonenal. It has a distinctive smell, slightly greasy, grassy, and hard to describe but very noticeable. Once it appears, it lingers, even after bathing. In fact, many seniors have no idea they carry this scent, because it builds up gradually and subtly. But people around them, family, caregivers, even strangers, tend to notice it more clearly. That is what makes it emotionally difficult. It is not something you feel. It is something others experience first. And to be clear, this is not something you can scrub off with a hot shower and soap. Regular bathing removes surface sweat and bacteria. But 2-nonenal is lipid-soluble, meaning it clings to the fatty layers of skin and clothing fibers. Unless you use the right ingredients, it stays put. A 2001 study from the Japan Research Center for Aging found that 2-nonenal was almost non-existent in individuals under 40, but levels increased significantly after age 60. In older participants, it was found in sweat, skin oils, and even in clothing, particularly on the back and behind the ears. These areas are common hotspots where older adults emit the strongest scent, often without knowing. This smell is sometimes compared to old paper, stale oil, or even cardboard. But the truth is, it is not a bad smell in itself. It is just different. And in a culture that values freshness and clean scents, anything unfamiliar quickly becomes stigmatized. What is important here is understanding that this is not a sign of poor hygiene. It is a normal, biological process. However, that does not mean nothing can be done about it. Understanding the science allows us to respond with care, not embarrassment or shame. Here is what we know. As the sebaceous glands slow down, the protective oil barrier weakens. Dry skin is more prone to oxidation, speeding up the production of 2-nonenal. Older adults who sweat less or bathe excessively with harsh soaps may actually increase the dryness, unintentionally making the smell more noticeable. This is why some seniors, like Thomas in our previous story, bathe daily and still notice no difference in how they smell to others. The issue is not on the surface, it is under it. And yes, fragrant sprays or deodorants might mask the scent for a few hours, but they do not neutralize the source. The good news is that, in the next part, we will explore 3 simple and effective steps to reduce the scent naturally, starting with how you cleanse your skin and what you feed your body. So stay with us, because confidence is not just about appearance. Sometimes, it starts with how you smell, especially when no one else wants to talk about it. By now, we understand that the scent many older adults carry is not from lack of hygiene. It is a result of natural changes in the skin, oil production, and oxidation. But the good news is this: with the right care, that scent can be reduced significantly, and in many cases, nearly eliminated. It all comes down to a 3-layer strategy, not just bathing, but caring for the body the way it needs to be cared for after age 60. These are simple adjustments that can restore confidence and bring families closer again. Layer 1. Clean the right areas the right way. The first step is to clean smarter, not harder. When we age, our skin becomes thinner and drier, and the protective oils that used to keep it soft and balanced begin to fade. This makes it more vulnerable to buildup in certain areas. That is why the focus should not be on scrubbing the entire body from head to toe every single day. Instead, we need to pay close attention to where the odor tends to concentrate. Start with the folds and creases of the body behind the ears, under the arms, around the groin, behind the knees, under the breasts, and around the neck. These areas are warm, less ventilated, and more prone to collecting oil and sweat. Use a mild pH-balanced cleanser, ideally one made for sensitive skin. Harsh soaps with strong scents or antibacterial chemicals can strip the skin's barrier, leaving it dry and irritated. This dryness only increases oxidation, and with it, the production of 2-nonenal. Also, skip the hot showers. As comforting as they may feel, hot water removes natural oils and leaves the skin vulnerable to that stale smell. Instead, use lukewarm water and pat the skin dry gently afterward with a soft towel. If daily full-body baths are difficult, focus on sponge bathing the key areas mentioned above. And after washing, apply a gentle moisturizer while the skin is still damp. This helps lock in hydration and protects the skin from cracking, dryness, and bacteria buildup. Layer 2. Natural antibacterial power from sunlight and air. Once the body is clean, it needs to breathe. And one of the best natural ways to prevent lingering odor is also one of the simplest sunshine. Just 10 to 15 minutes of morning sunlight before 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. can do wonders. The ultraviolet rays from the sun help eliminate surface bacteria on the skin, reduce moisture in hard-to-reach places, and improve circulation. Plus, exposure to early sunlight helps regulate sleep cycles by boosting melatonin production later in the day. If stepping outside is difficult, sitting by an open window or on a porch with natural air and light still brings benefits. But do it consistently. Think of it like airing out a room. The more often you let in clean air and light, the fresher it feels. Clothing matters too. Choose breathable fabrics like cotton, which allow the skin to stay cool and ventilated. Avoid synthetic fibers like polyester or nylon, especially during warm weather. These trap heat and sweat, creating the perfect environment for bacteria and odor to develop. Also, make sure clothes are changed daily, even if they still look clean. Fabric can trap nonenal and bacteria that are invisible to the eye. Layer 3. Fight odor from the inside out with food. The third layer is where many people overlook the most powerful solution: what goes inside the body. What you eat has a direct effect on how your body smells. Foods that are high in sulfur or saturated fats can increase body odor. This includes red meats, fried foods, garlic-heavy dishes, and overly processed snacks. Instead, prioritize a diet rich in green leafy vegetables, citrus fruits like oranges and lemons, apples, tomatoes, ginger, and turmeric. These foods are packed with antioxidants and help your body flush out toxins naturally. Begin your morning with a glass of warm water. It gently wakes up the digestive system and helps clear out waste buildup. Add a slice of lemon if you like. The vitamin C helps fight inflammation and boosts skin health. Stay hydrated throughout the day. Dehydration can make body odor worse by concentrating the waste in your sweat. Aim for at least 6 to 8 glasses of water daily. More if you are active or live in a warm climate. Making small changes to your diet not only helps with odor, it also improves energy, mobility, and overall vitality. Many seniors who make these shifts report feeling lighter, clearer, and more balanced within days. So there you have it, the 3-layer strategy. 1. Clean the right spots the right way. 2. Let your body breathe with sunlight and natural fabrics. 3. Eat and drink to support a clean, healthy scent from the inside out. Remember, aging is not something to hide, it is something to understand. With the right steps, you do not have to carry the silent weight of shame or embarrassment about your scent. You can feel fresh, confident, and connected to those around you. If you found this helpful, follow our channel for more real talk and practical solutions. And tell us in the comments, have you or someone in your family experienced this? Your voice matters type 1 if this content helps you, and 0 if you think we can do better. Your story could help someone else reclaim their dignity too. Now that we have talked about how to care for your body, it is time to look at the other half of the equation, your living space. Because the truth is this: no matter how clean you are, if the air around you, your clothing, or your bedding holds on to odor, it will come back to you. And that is why, in this part of the video, we are going to explore how to take care of your home the same way you take care of your body. Freshness does not stop at the bathroom. It continues into every room you spend time in. Let us begin. Most people think that body odor only comes from the body, from the skin, from sweat, from aging oils. But that is only part of the story. The truth is, your scent does not stop at your skin. It lingers in your home, in the fabrics you touch, and in the air you breathe. That is why, if you want to stay fresh and confident, taking care of your body is only half the solution. The other half lives in your clothes, your bed, and your living space. Let us start with clothing. Even if you do not sweat much, clothes absorb natural oils, skin cells, and the quiet chemical compound we discussed earlier, 2-nonenal. That is why undergarments, shirts, and sleepwear should be changed every day. Wearing the same inner clothing for 2 or 3 days allows that scent to build up and settle deep into the fabric. But changing clothes is not enough if the fabrics themselves are never refreshed. Pillowcases and towels need to be washed at least once a week. In fact, for pillowcases, twice a week is even better. Your head, neck, and behind the ears are major sources of skin oil. And when you lie down to sleep, those oils transfer to the pillow over time. The scent collects and becomes part of what others notice when they come close. As for sheets and blankets, once a week is the minimum. If your mobility is limited, ask a family member, neighbor, or caregiver to help you schedule these washings. Write them on a calendar if needed. And after washing, do not just dry them indoors or in a damp laundry room. Sunlight is your best friend. Try to air dry your linens and clothing in the sun whenever possible. The sun is a natural antibacterial. It helps kill odors and bacteria that regular washing may miss. Even just hanging clothes outside for an hour can make a noticeable difference. Now, let us talk about the air inside your home. Many older adults keep their windows closed most of the day, sometimes out of habit, sometimes for safety or warmth. But without proper airflow, stale smells stay trapped. A clean body and fresh clothes will not matter if the air you breathe is musty. That is why you should ventilate your home twice a day for at least 15 minutes. Open windows on opposite sides of the house to let fresh air pass through. If you are concerned about heat or cold, even cracking one window open for a few minutes can help. In rooms with no windows or low airflow, you can fight odor naturally by placing a bowl of baking soda in the corner or using activated charcoal. These materials pull smells from the air without releasing any harsh fragrances. They are silent helpers that work all day long. If you live alone or spend most of your time in one room, that space becomes your scent. That is why it is even more important to let sunlight and fresh air become your daily companions. Open the curtains. Let light into your room. Sit by the window if you can. This small habit does more than brighten your space. It helps you feel awake, alive, and cared for. Taking care of your home is not a chore. It is an extension of how you care for yourself. And every clean pillowcase, every breeze of fresh air, is a step toward feeling better in your skin. Let this be your reminder. You deserve to live in a space that smells like peace, not like neglect. You deserve to feel clean, comfortable, and proud of how you show up in the world. If no one has told you this recently, you are worth the effort. And if this video helped you think differently about something as quiet and personal as scent, I encourage you to stay connected with us. Follow our channel for more honest, helpful insights for older adults, and scroll down to leave a comment. But more importantly, share your thoughts. Your voice might be the one that helps someone else take the first step toward change. Because sometimes, the smallest changes make the biggest difference. In this final part of the video, we are going to focus on something simple but powerful. Small changes, big results. Because when it comes to aging and scent, most people think the solution has to be complicated or expensive. But as you are about to see, sometimes the biggest difference starts with the smallest decision. Sometimes it is the quietest things that affect us the most. A gentle pullback during a hug, a subtle turn of the head, a child stepping just a little further away. These moments pass quickly, but they leave a deep mark. For many older adults, these silent signals are tied to something nobody talks about, out loud body odor. It was exactly that moment that changed everything for Thomas. You might remember Thomas, the 72-year-old grandfather whose granddaughter stopped hugging him. At first, he thought it was just part of growing up, but when she looked at him and said, "Grandpa smells like a nursing home," his heart sank. He had done everything he thought was right. He bathed every day, wore clean clothes, used soap and deodorant, but clearly, something was not working. Instead of ignoring the problem, Thomas decided to make a few small changes. Nothing dramatic, nothing expensive, just thoughtful, consistent steps based on what he had learned. The first thing he did was switch out his soap. Instead of using his regular bar, the one with a strong scent that often left his skin feeling dry, he chose a gentle, pH-balanced cleanser made for aging skin. It had no harsh chemicals, no drying alcohols, just simple, soothing ingredients that cleaned without stripping his natural oils. Next, he turned his attention to the air around him. Every morning, he made it a habit to open his bedroom windows for 15 minutes. No matter the season, he let fresh air move through his home. He pulled back the curtains, let the sunlight pour in, and took a few moments to breathe. He also began drying his pillowcases outside in the sun, letting the natural light do its job in killing bacteria and removing odors that even the washing machine could not handle. But perhaps the biggest change was internal. Thomas gave up his morning coffee not entirely. But he replaced his first cup with something better for his body, a glass of warm water with lemon. It felt odd at first, but after a few days, he noticed the difference. His mouth felt fresher, his digestion improved, and his skin, surprisingly, began to feel more hydrated. These were not giant shifts. They were small adjustments, easy enough for anyone to try. But within 2 weeks, something beautiful happened. His granddaughter ran into his arms again. No hesitation, no holding back. She hugged him just like she used to, her head resting on his chest, and she smiled. That single moment, just a hug, meant everything to Thomas. Not because he needed reassurance, but because he had reclaimed something precious: closeness, connection, the feeling of being fully accepted. And that is the heart of today's message. Body odor is not a reason to feel ashamed. It is a natural part of aging, a sign that you have lived, that time has passed, that your body has changed. But just because it is natural does not mean you have no control. With a little understanding and a few consistent steps, you can take ownership of how you smell, how you feel, and how others experience you. Not for appearances, but for the moments that matter: a child's hug, a spouse's embrace, the confidence to sit beside someone without worry. This is not about covering up. It is about caring enough to stay close to yourself and to others. So, here is what we ask you to do next. If this video helped you understand something new, share it with someone. Share it with your son, your daughter, your caregiver, or anyone looking after their parents or grandparents. This information is not just for you. It is for every person who wants to age with dignity and connection. And before you go, we would love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever noticed that specific scent in someone older? Or maybe in yourself? Type a comment below. Type 1 if this resonates with you. Type 0 if you think there is something we missed or can improve. Your story might help someone else realize they are not alone. Remember, the smell of aging is not something to be embarrassed by. It is something to be understood, managed, and respected. Because sometimes, a fresh pillowcase and a glass of warm water are all it takes to bring the hugs back home.